welcome to part two of our What's Next podcast here with Supercast Brothers. We've just finished off with characters, so if you somehow missed part one, do go ahead and go back and listen to that, assuming you would care to know what kind of characters we think we could see in the next Smash. But for now, let's just continue on with discussing stages.
Welcome to part two, everyone. We're going to be chatting about stages now, I believe.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
So stages this is probably going to go a lot faster than, and probably as we go through things here, it's going to be a lot quicker. At least I think it will.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have a list of stages like in order of what I want to talk about. There's more like there's certain franchises or certain ideas that I feel should be talked about. First of fucking all, can we get a Donkey Kong stage that's not just a jungle? There's more to Donkey Kong than jungle. Yes, I know it's Donkey Kong. A lot of it is jungle, but there's hey, there's factories. There's minecart levels. There's the Gangplank Galleon. King K. Rool's pirate ship. Can we get the Gangplank Galleon? Can we get Fruity Factory or Trunk Twister from Tropical Freeze? Both amazing locations and stages I've already made that we could see from the game. Or, the game is called Tropical Freeze. So maybe an ice level? Or are we only allowed to have ice levels from Ice Climber? Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
There's just some franchises that it's just like, what are you doing? Because, like I said on that, can we get a Metroid stage, please, that's not just lava or acid?
Yeah, like Fernando Drips or the Sky City. That's the name is. I think it's Ether actually. Something along those lines.
From Prime 2? Ether and
Yeah.
Dark Ether? Yeah.
Yeah.
You could even do Criteria or SR388. There's more than just Norfair. Which, don't get me wrong, I love the Norfair stage in Brawl. It's amazing. And technically, we got the Frigate Orpheon in Brawl. That's not lava or acid, but that stage also sucks.
The truth hurts.
It would be better without the flipping mechanic. But goddamn.
Okay, the audio thing is out.
Hello?
Hey.
Yes?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Is the audio muffled?
It wasn't for me.
Because it dropped to like
it's
whatever.
Probably because I was talking and not used to the recording wanted to pick it up.
Okay. That's fine. So long as things don't outright stop, it'll be an easy edit.
Yep. Okay, where do you need me to resume?
You were just talking about how Frigate Orpheon sucks.
Okay. Let me think how I want to restart that part. Okay. I mean, yeah, we do have one Metroid stage, I guess, that's not just lava or acid. We've got, Frigate Orpheon from Brawl with the Parasite Queen there, but let's be honest, the flipping mechanic of that stage makes it utter ass. It does.
Yeah, truth hurts sometimes.
I like the layout of it, and I think they improved it in Ultimate because they added some more platforms that can come in from the side. But the flipping mechanic, it is also a lot less often now. In Brawl, it's like, oh hey, you want to flip every 20 seconds? Okay. Ultimate, it's a lot less often, which thank God. One of the things Ultimate did when it brought back so many stages is that it altered how some of them worked just a little bit, and I think for the most part, it improved a lot of stages. Luigi's Mansion, already an amazing stage, was made even better in Ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
Fire Emblem is a series that, the stages we got for it, they're great. They're not. We have two generic stages with the Colosseum and Castle Siege. And I guess maybe Colosseum is supposed to be from Awakening. I don't really know.
No.
But, okay, well, there we go. But then we have Arena Ferox, which is from Awakening. It's from Ragna Ferox, the location. It's the arena there, which is an okay stage. I'm not opposed to it, but we need more. We need more from Fire Emblem. We need more that's not just generic shit. The Dragon's Table. from both Marth Games and Awakening.
Yeah.
The Mila Tree. Garreg
Mm-hmm.
Monastery from Three Houses would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, this one is another generic idea, but it works on a very interesting mechanic. What if we got a stage that was just entirely themed around the battle mechanic of Thug of War?
Yep.
I don't know
Yep.
how it would work in an effective manner. I mean, I've had ideas for it, and I think I wrote one down on Smashtopia, but I'm
Oh,
not
I
too
did one on
confident
Mercurius in
on
like
it.
2008.
I thought that was Flame Zone that did that.
No, it was me.
Oh shit.
It was me. Yep.
Hmm. Well, okay.
Flame Zone could have ripped it off,
He
which
might
wouldn't have
have.
been the first time. Just kidding.
Whip.
Yeah, to that end, another one that people toss around a lot for Fire Emblem is kind of spoilery, but people can get over it. The back of Grima.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep, that
I'm
would
not
also
really sure
be
how that would
really good.
work. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just can't visually picture it in my mind, but it is definitely an interesting idea.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to represent Ike's games as well, since we talked about like the military or the Dragon's Table for Marth and Robin, effectively, Ike could have the Tower of Guidance or Serena's Forest.
Regale
There you
Castle
go.
for Echoes.
Yep, that's true. Nice.
Yeah, from the Kid Icarus games, there's two great ideas I have that they could have for stages. You could take the 25M or Mario Brothers approach to do the Underworld, the starting
Mm-hmm.
location for the original Kid Icarus game, because you're in the Underworld as Pit trying to escape and get back to Skyworld. For reasons I don't
Mm-hmm.
really remember why that's the case, but just make it look like that exact 8-bit look of the Underworld.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's a auto scroller going from a vertical scroller, but I don't really know about it. But it's at least give it that look.
Yeah.
But from Kid Icarus Uprising, what an idea I really love is the rewind spring. It's
Ooh.
an area where you go to take Dark Pit after he's gotten himself in a little bit of trouble to help heal him, and you have a boss fight there. Now I don't want the boss to be part of the stage. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not really where my idea comes from here. But what if in the middle of the stage there's the rewind spring itself? Sometimes it's filled with water, sometimes it's dried up. But when it's filled with water, anybody that's standing there is being healed over time.
Nice.
If you get thrown out, I mean, obviously, you're no longer be healing, and sometimes it'll drain away so that you can't just stand there the entire match and heal. So that's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
But
Nope.
it's an idea I really want to see.
I like that.
Kirby has a bunch of options.
Yep.
Sakurai has sadly been I don't know if it's purposeful or not. If it's just him not liking the games after he stopped working on Kirby. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to speculate on it. But Kirby games that Sakurai did not work on are very largely ignored in Smash.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mistake. We need
Mm-hmm.
more stages from Kirby. Granted, the
Mm-hmm.
ones that I wrote down here, I don't know if they're ones that he made or not. So I might just be listing more of Sakurai's own work. But could we get the Mirror Chamber from Amazing Mirror? Could we get Bubbly Clouds, which has made multiple appearances, and you could even have a new stage boss with Krakow. You
Mm-hmm.
can get Patch Castle from Epic Yarn. The Access Arc, which I think is Return to Dreamland? I
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
City Trial
Mm-hmm.
from Air Ride, please. Castle Data Day,
Mm-hmm.
a classic location, which
Yep.
kind of appears in the Dreamland stage that they made in Smash 4, but that stage sucks.
Yep.
Zelda. Oh, yes.
No, I was just gonna break in for a second to say that something Robobot themed would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or they can even do Wispy Woods from another angle. Have it be like the boss fight, and every so often, Wispy Woods would be dropping apples like that. And you can attack Wispy Woods and get it to dissipate for a little while and be incapacitated and crying. That would be kind of fun. Anyway.
Need to put in a pause break right there for my
Okay.
own self.
Yep. I fall in love so easily. I love to. Clouds are behind me. I now can see ahead. Often try hoping for so. All right. So, what are we doing? Like, are we paused?
I just got back.
Oh, well, hello.
Hi.
How is the scorpion doing?
What?
I don't know. Can we get a time spot on when you return?
Um. Let's see.
Or we can.
All of my timestamps have been what they would be after the previous one has been edited out, unlike the last one, because I was hitting
Oh,
the wrong
okay,
button.
okay.
So it's pretty much whenever you put it like in Movie Maker or whatever, once you see little audio bars stop popping up again.
Hmm. Okay, that's true.
I needed the bathroom really bad. It was about to be bad.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
No problem.
it was gross. Um, Let me know when you're ready to resume. I'll be going into Zelda stages.
All right. Yeah, we just got done with Kirby, so that
Yep.
was a good clear cut.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go.
I guess moving on from there, the Zelda franchise has a lot of games in it. There's a lot of great locations, and then when we got just the Great Plateau Tower from Breath of the Wild, I was like,
Oh my
really,
god. The biggest
really?
disappointment for me.
Of all locations, that one. I think there's an explanation, and I think this is me making an assumption here. Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey were both still in development when Sakurai was putting things together. That's my own
Hmm.
personal speculation here, because that's the only way that I can explain why we will only get Great Plateau Tower, New Donk City Hall,
Hmm.
as opposed to literally any other location, or just a better view of New Donk City. New Donk City is a great choice for a stage. Don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
but just the City Hall, just the Great
Hmm.
Plateau Tower. Why not a traveling stage throughout all the areas in Breath of the Wild, or a traveling stage across the Great Plateau? That would have been a lot better. But Zelda, for instance, we could get the Temple of Time, the
Hmm.
Forsaken Fortress from Wind Waker, Zora's
Oh yeah.
Domain, which could come from either
Hmm.
like Ocarina or from Breath of the Wild, Clock
Yeah.
Town from Majora's Mask, the
Hmm.
Twilight Realm from
Hmm.
Twilight Princess, Death Mountain from, I mean, any of its 42 incarnations. Zelda has such a great variety of locations. And it's
Tingle
not
Tower. Tingle's
sure.
big balloon.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's get
Oh yeah.
Tinkle's air blimp.
Yep. There
Sure,
you go. Yep.
sure. No, but I mean, there's other franchises like Mario. I mentioned. There's so many locations, so many games that you can easily pull from. Give us a little bit more variety, please. We are we will rather be 6 games into this Smash Bros. Franchise. Where the
Hmm.
hell is Bowser's Castle? Oh my god.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Seriously.
my only
Hmm.
fear is that they'll turn it into the next Palutena's Temple or Great Cube Offensive, which,
Yeah. Agreed.
please don't. I mean, granted, I myself did come up with a general layout that I like for a large version of Bowser's Castle, but even then, I would prefer a more normal sized stage.
Oh
Maybe a
yeah.
little bit bigger, maybe bigger than Battlefield, sure, but we don't need any more Great Cube Offensives. That stage sucks.
Hmm.
I hate it.
Yep. Might
Another great
agree.
option. What about Tiny Huge Island from Mario
Oh yeah.
64? The
Hmm.
stage could shrink or grow as the magic happens, which would
Hey,
really change things up.
throwback to our pal Small Tall T Fisher.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Maybe he gets small when the island gets huge. I mean, like,
Yep.
could we get the little theater area from Paper Mario as a stage? Or
Yeah.
even Rogueport? Or
Hmm.
uh, Flip Side and Flop Side, Bob on Battlefield. There's so many locations.
Hmm.
Almost a lot of the worlds really from Mario 64 could be their own stages. They're so
Yeah.
good. They really are.
Hmm.
The fact that we got Rainbow Cruise was a surprise, but it works. It
Oh my god, I can't remember the name of that Ice Cap Mountain. That's like the third level that you get to in Super Mario 64 right now.
tall
But how
mountain.
great would it be? Is that it?
Is
Okay.
it might be the one with the snowman or the penguin?
Yeah.
I think the one with the penguin is tall mountain. I mean, I'll have to check, which I can do, but I'm pretty certain that's the one.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that Tall the Mountain, the one with the monkey.
Oh, well,
So,
I'm about to find out. Yeah. And then I look at it. Tall Mountain is something else. My
Yep.
bad.
Yep.
I mean,
So like the one that's adjacent to Snowman's Land, but is not Snowman's Land.
cool mountain. That's what it is.
Yeah, there we go.
I was
Well, I could
close.
see why you would get it mixed up then.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, you even have Womp's Fortress, Big Boo's Haunt, Jolly Roger Bay, maybe not
hmm
Shifting Sandland, Dire Docks, Wet Dry World,
hmm
Tick Tock Clock.
Yep.
That
Oh
that
yeah.
game has so many amazing locations all in one game. So similarly,
Cool.
Mario Odyssey, a lot of its different worlds could be great stages. Tossed Arena, Mount Volbono, Bonneton, maybe not
Oh yeah.
Chavaria, but
Yep.
there's so many great locations in Zelda, in Mario, in Pokemon.
hmm
As much as I love the Pokemon Stadium mechanic that we've also
hmm
seen repeated in Pokemon Stadium 2 and Kalos Pokemon League, as much as I love that
hmm
idea, can we get more actual locations? Cerulean Cave,
Yeah.
where you fight Mewtwo. Sutopolis City, the epicenter of Kyogre and Groudon's battle in the Hoenn games. I would love Sutopolis City. And you have these high walls that are surrounding the city, kind of like Shadow Island. But then up above in the background, you see Kyogre and Groudon fighting. There's harsh sunlight sometimes hitting the stage. There's heavy rain hitting the stage. And then sometimes Rayquaza would be like, "Yo, what's up, bitches? Why you fighting?" And then everything clears out for a little while before the fight resumes again.
hmm
Distortion
hmm
World from Platinum would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
Team Rocket's HQ, Ultra
hmm
Space. Why
hmm
not, chill out a little bit and find out Route 1 from Kanto?
hmm
And then out in
hmm
the background, you see Pallet Town. That'd be
hmm
awesome. You get these
Yeah.
little tufts of tall grass, Rattatas and Pidgeys can jump out and attack. It'd be so cool. Could we
Yeah.
get,
It would be.
if they're never going to give us Poke Floats again, which I'm assuming is because those models were ripped straight out of Stadium and they
hmm
don't want to have to rebuild that, what about Poke Floats Go?
Yeah.
Why don't we
Why
just rip
not?
the models out of Pokemon Go and turn those into the little balloons that we fight on top of?
hmm
Please? That'd be
Yep.
awesome. That there's so many
hmm
good stuff that you can do, and if they don't want to do Poke Floats Go, why don't we just look at the different amiibo that Nintendo's made and have amiibo floats?
Oh yeah. We can also have a Pokemon daycare stage.
I mean,
You could
yeah,
find out how the eggs are made.
we'll, we'll,
And
we'll,
then
we'll never find that out.
what?
It's impossible. Nobody knows how eggs are made.
Me either. The wild area maybe.
The Wild Area would be a great choice from Sword and Shield, as would Winden Stadium if they just want to make another Pokemon Stadium.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
I'm not opposed to, so long as it's not like, here's four incarnations of the same stage.
hmm
No. No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Let's see here. From Splatoon, Moray Tower shocked me as the choice because I hate that stage in
Yep.
Splatoon. But
Oh, I
goddamn it,
love that
it
stage.
worked really well in Smash. I was surprised.
Yep.
When they flashed up the name Moray Towers, I groaned. But then I saw the gameplay and was like, you know what, that works. Another
Yep.
stage from Splatoon that I think could work really well is Schellendorf Institute. They added it
Ooh.
in Splatoon
Yep.
2. It's a museum, but you have
hmm
the floor that you can fight on, but then there's also a little glass ceiling in the middle of the museum that you can jump onto and fight on top of. But there's also a hole in the middle of that glass ceiling that you could fall back down through. I think that'd be a really
hmm
interesting approach to a new stage.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Wario should get a stage that's not just WarioWare Inc. Can we at least get
Agreed.
just a second Wario stage, period? I
hmm
nominate Glitter Town from Wario Land Shake It. The people are probably just like, why can't we just get a game from an actual older Wario Land game? Fair enough,
hmm
but I'm not familiar with any of them, and I already made a stage at Glitter Town, so it's literally the only place I know besides the Golden Pyramid.
Glitter Town. The great. Yeah, the Golden Pyramid's another one.
The SST
Where there?
Cup.
Yeah, the SSC Cup. Precisely. Pioro could be a fun, weird stage to pull from left field.
I thought Pioro was
Where
the little red bird from WarioWare.
Oh yeah, but it's also an iconic micro game. where PRO is going around with his long tongue picking up beans.
I just remember that there actually
And you
is a
got
second Wario stage. I forgot all about
beans
Gamer.
fall from the stage. Gamer is a little bit of a trepidatious area for me myself.
It's an interesting move basing a stage off of just one of the little micro games in the Wario franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
very interesting move, and it's not something that I would have ever come up with.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's
Yep.
weird. Could we get a stage for Rob, please? He's the only character that does not have a single stage from his franchise in Smash. Whether
Mm-hmm.
it's like uh, just ripping Gyromite straight out of the screen and putting it in Smash, or fighting on top of a giant Rob that's playing Stack Up itself, placing down little discs onto the stage. Could be interesting there. I
It's
mean,
scary how similar our minds are working.
what else
Because
can you
I
do
was
with a
going to say
Rob
the
stage?
same
In all
thing.
honesty, there's really no other
Yep.
options.
Yep.
Could we get
Rod floats.
technically this isn't a new stage, but what about the return of Metal Cave or Meta Crystal or whatever you want to call it from Smash 64?
Oh yeah.
It will only exist to fight Metal Mario there. What about
Mm-hmm.
taking the desk and the intro for Mario for Smash 64, turn that into a stage?
Mm-hmm.
That would be the perfect. That would be
Absolutely.
the ultimate callback to the
Mm-hmm.
original game.
Yeah.
See what I
Exactly.
see what I did there? Yep, yep. Ultimate.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And I mean, Smash also is known to have stages from franchises that don't have a playable character.
Mm-hmm.
Hannonbo? That was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a thing. What about what about Glug Glug Lagoon from Starfy?
Nice.
Granted, again, it's the only location I know from Starfy because I made a stage of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I wanted to make a stage from Starfy at one point, I was just like, okay, let's look around here. Let's skip through some video footage. Let's look at the names of places. Like, oh hey, this place looks cool. Glug Glug Lagoon. Oh my god, I love that name. We're
Mm-hmm.
making it. I love it.
There you go.
It's really interesting. I like to see stages from more franchises branch out a little, and I think Starfy could get a good stage. I really do think it could.
Mm-hmm.
Could we get Tetris?
Agreed. Yeah.
Could we get a Tetris stage?
Yes.
I imagine it's just like a single flat long platform like Final Destination, maybe smaller. I'm not really sure, but Tetris blocks are constantly falling down. Pseudo random, kind of, sort of like it's not necessarily a set pattern, but it's not like a complete abomination of RNG. But they're always falling down in probably in a slow manner, but you could still be crushed by them. You can jump on top of them as platforms, and
Mm-hmm.
if they connect a whole row off across the stage, then it shifts down a little bit, and it's going to have to be doing that a lot as stage plays. Otherwise, it's just going to be too tall and impossible to play on. But Tetris would make a really cool stage, and if they
Oh
can't
yeah.
get the rights to do that for whatever reason, hey, look, you can do Dr. Mario stage instead.
Mm-hmm.
Same damn concept,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah. There you go.
There's just
Unless they
so
base it off
many.
of the mobile game.
I haven't even looked at the mobile game. I don't really want to.
Yep.
Nah, not for me.
Too easy. It's
Yeah,
too easy.
but there's so many great options for stages. Those are really the highlights for me, which was a lot more than I initially intended to say. But oh god, there's
I was
it.
thinking that. I like.
I love
Yeah.
that Ultimate brought back so many stages from the older games, but we only got like 5 or 6 new stages in the base roster, which was such a disappointment. Granted,
Yeah.
they're all mostly cool stages. Mori Towers, really awesome. Dracula's Castle, really awesome. Great Plateau Tower. It
One of the worst
exists.
in the entire series.
Well, I mean, Hannonbo, but
Yeah.
it's at least a functioning stage. It's just the
Yep.
inspiration behind it is considerably lacking.
Boring. Yeah. Really boring.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. So,
yes,
yes,
go
sir.
on, please.
No, I was just gonna say it's funny that when you're like, "Oh yeah, stages. Here are my stage ideas." It's gonna go by really fast, and I was like,
Well, if there's one thing we know
So
about me, it's that I say a lot of words.
you gotta mind. That's what you got. You're the ideas guy, so you got some ideas to share, and that's
Yes.
totally welcome. All right. So what were you gonna say? Whoops.
I was just going to ask you what you thought about stages we could see.
Oh yeah, of course. I have a list here. Most of them were already mentioned by you. I do have a few more left. Some outliers. Uh, we mentioned Wispy Woods earlier in the thing. I mean, that would only be blah because we've already seen Wispy Woods a few times. But
Twice.
having it in that new fashion would be a different take at the very least. Uh, the Last Resort, and I'm not sure which floor to take from, or if you're doing all floors or outside of the hotel. But that would be a great. It's the hotel from Luigi's Mansion 3.
Okay, okay. I was about to ask, what is the last
Mm-hmm.
resort?
Yeah, so that would be fun. That would be a fun stage to see all the, and it can be one that includes the ghosts at least in the background or something, for some extra taste. So that would be cool. I would imagine the lobby would probably be the stage if you're not moving from location to location. But either way would work. Um, let's see here. Oh, yeah, and then another Nintendo franchise that's been pretty much forgotten, but I love it anyway, so I'm going to mention it. It's not Advanced Wars because I couldn't really think of anything except for Orange Star HQ. So yeah, there you go. That could work. Um, but The Last Story, which I adored that game, still do.
Ariela's
Uh,
Tavern.
Ariel's Tavern could work. I was thinking Stargazer's Tower just because it's such a staple portion of the game and just a place where a lot of emotional scenes happen and looks cool, looks nice. So, bleh. And then beyond that, for Amaterasu, I think that Shinshu Field would be the easiest to include and probably be what they would do. Although I'm also a fan of Ryoshima Coast and would prefer it myself. Lastly, the only other thing that I really have listed here, well, I was floating around Rayman for a little bit, and Toad Story from Rayman Legends would be like my de facto reason to include Rayman, because that the art style in that game, if we can get that translated into Smash, would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But since Rayman is not a part of this, sorry Rayman, uh, expanding on Zelda just by a smidge, having a Hyrule Castle that isn't just the block world from
Yeah.
64.
Yeah.
And my personal favorite Hyrule Castle is the one from Twilight Princess. You mentioned the Twilight Realm earlier. We can form that into a more concrete concept, one that's been floated around since the Brawl era. Having Hyrule Castle and having it switch between the Twilight Realm and the Light Realm
It's kind of similar to
intermittently,
an
and
old
having
idea of mine, where you would
hmm
change Peach's castle and have it switch back and forth between the Princess Peach's castle we know, but then the Shroob castle from Mario and Luigi Partners in Time.
Oh yeah, yep, I remember that. Yeah, exactly, and that reminded me of another cut character from my list was Yube, of course.
I mean, you mentioned having a Rayman stage, but not having him on your character list. But I mean, we have third-party assist trophies now who don't have a character in Smash. So who says we can't
Mm-hmm.
have a Rayman stage? We've got Rathalos from Monster Hunter as a boss, but no
Mm-hmm.
Monster Hunter stage or character. So who's to
Yeah,
say we can't have a third-party stage like what do you say it was called? Mushroom Fields?
Toad Story.
Toad Story. Toad Story. I was close. I was close. But who say we can't have Toad Story or Tetris or the courtroom from Ace Attorney if we don't get Phoenix? Who's to say we can't get any of that just because we don't have the character?
Yeah, that
If
much is
if we can
true.
get Rathalos and Rayman as a
Mm-hmm.
boss and assist trophy, we can get anything. The
That's true.
all almost all the fan made rules for Smash content are broken. There's very few
Yep.
left.
And when Elsa is revealed as the final fighter pass, all of them will be broken.
I will quit Smash forever if that happens. I will sell all copies of the game I have. I will delete Smashtopia. I will delete every single roster I've ever made. I will delete the YouTube channel and everything that these episodes are on. I don't care. Smash will be dead to me. I will never again have hype.
Holy moly. Oh,
You think
man.
I'm joking.
No, you just made a lot of work for yourself, though.
You know what? I did. And I will gladly do it if such a terrible decision ever comes to pass. But thankfully, Sakurai isn't a complete moron, and that will never happen.
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
I
man.
hope somebody is knocking on wood right now.
There you go.
That wasn't real wood.
Yeah, it was. Thank you for the compliment, though. Okay.
So, I think you said that was the last remaining stage that you had that I didn't mention.
Yeah, pretty much.
The bad thing is that there were a lot of more stages that I had written down that just passed over because just like there's nothing more exciting. Like I didn't mention Star Fox or Pikmin or Xenoblade, Golden Sun, F-Zero. All of these are things that could have more stages.
Oh yeah, Venus Lighthouse, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you think of Golden Sun stages, it's always going to be Venus Lighthouse. There's no other options. Let's be real.
What about a stage that is Master Chief?
What?
Moving on.
Yeah, let's be real. If we're getting Halo, it's gonna be Blood Gulch. I hope at least. I want Blood Gulch. This might be the Red versus Blue fan of me though, but I want Blood Gulch.
There's a good chance anyway.
Yeah. Now, we've covered the characters, we've covered the stages. We still have items, assist trophies, Pokemon. I'll be honest, while I did come up with a good amount of assist trophies, these should be rapid fire. But I don't have very many items. I actually struggled to find 10 items that I liked the idea of and that I could come up with a good idea for and how they would work. I'm neither of us are like competitive players where we hate items and we refuse to use them. We like items. Most items. Smash 4 and Ultimate had a tendency to add in items that are a bit much. I mean, the Beetle, that's ridiculous. We don't need that. That can go away. Ore Club is okay for the most part. It's kind of like a home run bat, but even easier to use. Fake Smash Ball can go away. The Smoke Ball is just stupid. I'm trying to think what some of the other OP... Oh, the Gust Bellows. Oh my god. Talk about OP nonsense. That can just go away. No, we don't need it. I don't like the little sentry turret thing from Kid Icarus. That's an item that can go. Rage Blaster is an interesting idea, but I feel like it's a tad much. The Galaga can fuck off. Just straight fuck off. Special Flag I'm okay with because you have to hold on to it for a while. But I really want for the next Smash, let's not go so crazy with the items. You can add in some pretty good ones, sure, but let's tone it down a little. Let's have the heal staff from Fire Emblem. You hold onto the staff for a few minutes, you're activating it, and it's healing you over time, but you're also rooted in that position as you're healing. And after 70% has been healed, the staff breaks. It's gone.
Nice.
What about the Jumpman badge from Paper Mario? You wear it like the Screw Attack or the Franklin badge, and you get an extra jump. Simple enough. Similarly, how about the Life Orb from Pokemon? It's the only item that's not a Pokeball. And you're wearing it, it's equipped to you. Your attacks are stronger, but you take damage when you use them. So it turns you into a Pichu. Let's assume that spirits or some other kind of customization is in the next Smash. You know that gun in the Spirit Board mode that you use to shoot spirits after you steal them or beat them rather. What if that becomes an actual item that you can use in mid matches, but only when like customization is turned on? Because otherwise it'd be useless, in my opinion. And if you shoot somebody with it, then for a set amount of time, all their customizations are wiped out.
Nice.
So if they had
Uh,
like all their physical strength was higher with their spirits or whatever, but they get hit with the spear gun, well, their stat goes back to normal for like, I don't know, 10 seconds or something. That'd be
I
nice.
like that.
That'd be
Yeah.
really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the red shell from Melee?
Yeah.
You remember how it hasn't been in Smash since Melee?
Mm-hmm.
What if we had the Seeker from Splatoon to kind of replace that?
Oh, I like it.
What if we had the Sprinkler from Splatoon that shoots out ink around it, and it's ink that has the exact same properties as an Inklink's ink? So anybody that has ink on them, they take more damage from attacks.
I enjoy this sprinkler idea of yours. That's what I
What
think of it.
what if we add a bow and arrow as an item?
Ooh.
But it's really just not from Fire Emblem, not one of those, because it's just like, hey, I mean, we could, but what if we just take the Royal Bow, one of the bows from Breath of the Wild, and the Royal Bow doesn't have anything special, it's just a cool design. But what if the Royal Bow uh, could alternated shots, or maybe I haven't really fleshed out the mechanic yet. I was workshopping it when I decided to throw it on here, but it could shoot fire arrows, shock arrows, or ice arrows.
Nice. Yes. Let it be.
It's a little bit more than what Fire Emblem could do with a bow. I consider
Mm-hmm.
bomb arrows was just like, maybe not bomb arrows, maybe not. Um, let's take a ball bomb and let's take the soccer ball and let's merge those into one item here. The shock bomb from Arms. It,
Yep.
it's it's bigger than the shock ball item. You can punch it around. You can attack it, throwing it across the stage. After a set amount of time, which will probably go down when it's being attacked, so it'll just explode faster, it explodes out into a big old orb of electricity, zapping anybody in the path. So you could try and hit it towards an opponent when it only has a few seconds left and hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
The Bubble Monkey
Yes.
from Earthbound.
Nice.
It's kind of a silly idea, but I kind of imagine it as it's the Bubble Monkey's just sitting there on the stage normally, just chewing some bubble gum, maybe blowing some bubbles. When you get up to it and you just hit A to interact with it, he's now following you directly behind you. He's always in sync with you, not an assist trophy. It's just spitting out little wads of bubblegum to attack opponents with constant damage whenever he's running around. It's not much. It's a small thing, but it's a fun idea, and I had a lot
Yes.
of trouble with these items. I really did.
No,
I
I
even
like that.
include like the Rainmaker from Splatoon on here. That would be a powerful
Mm-hmm.
one. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you get some powerful ones, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I just want items to be fun again, and not. I don't want to look at. I don't want to see the beetle spawn and just run away. That's not fun.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. For me with items, I have a few more to add to the list. Some of them more controversial than others. But for starters, I was thinking about Zelda and that great barrage of that war chest to take from. But with the skull, I settled on the skull hammer from Wind Waker,
Mm-hmm.
um, and essentially, uh, Link in Wind Waker can use the skull hammer to peg down these large objects like pegs, for instance. Speaking of pegging things, let's not aim that. Um, and he kind of swings it in one direction and then lifts it over his head and slams it down for added impact. And I just think changing your standard attack into that same animation and slamming down on opponents for decent knockback at the expense of having that long charge up time, that would be a fair, powerful item. Um, or if you want to get a little saucy, you can take Nintendo's canceled Project Hammer and take the hammer straight from that game and give it the Skull Hammer's utility to an exact T
Oh shit.
and just have Project Hammer as an item.
That would be
Uh,
interesting.
yep. And then maybe change up some of the other moves too. Like if you run with it and press A, you can spin around kind of like King DDD. That would be cool. That sort of thing. So, yeah.
I really like
Um,
the idea of let's like giving a character a weapon that some of the characters just use as part of their regular moveset, but now it's
mhm.
just like now you can use this too, like the bow and arrow. Or it's like, hey, look, we already have multiple sword-like weapons with the beam sword and the fire rod or fire bar
Mhm.
rather. It's like, why not a hammer? Why not an axe? We got a
Yeah.
scythe now, like
Mhm.
which was surprising, but I love it. Like,
Yep.
why not a bow too? Why not a lance? Why not?
Mhm.
What? There's so much they can do besides just, hey, you want another sword? Hey, you want another bomb? Hey, you want another piece of
Agreed.
OP bullshit?
Yep. Yep. Um, let's see. Another thing that I was debating between an assist trophy or an item for, kind of like Bubble Monkey,
Mm-hmm.
is Ramby. And the
As an
reason why
item.
the reason why I pegged Ramby down the item is the utility ultimately. You press A and jump on Ramby, and Ramby will take you anywhere that you guide him or her. I don't really remember the sex of this animal right now,
It's a
but
rhino,
you
so
you can yep you run Ramby around and attack opponents, and as Ramby runs and you control Ramby in place of your character, you can press A to attack, or it'll automatically attack in the place of just movement function if an opponent comes close, and then you can press a certain button and jump off of Ramby as well. And after a certain amount of time, Ramby would disappear. So that's just because of the function of getting on Ramby and using it like that. I just thought it might be better suited for an item, and you break it out of the box like you would in Donkey Kong Country.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just kind of my thought on that. It could go either way.
Okay,
Either like I just imagine as an assist trophy, it'd be a little less forward, and Ramby would be running around on its own.
right.
Um, Inspired by Ditto and its inclusion in Ultimate, the double cherry, and
Ah,
and incorporating it to double up on your character, and you have like if you have ice climbers, you'd have four freaking ice climbers on stage following in sync and attacking for double the attack strength. The only thing I can imagine that would be a detriment is that could potentially be processing hell.
yeah, yeah. Imagine 8 player Smash
Mm-hmm.
with with 8 ice climbers, all with a double cherry.
Oh
They
man.
already had to make some changes to stages when you do more than 4 players in Ultimate for like uh, Fountain of Dreams doesn't. They remove some of the effects from that stage. Wii Fit Studio does not have the mirror. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
do anything because it's adding content onto the stage. There's already so many things they had to sacrifice just to get more than 4 players on there. That would
Mm-hmm.
kill the game. Ice climbers would be cut again.
You would want it though, because when they include Elsa,
Not if
you
it
can
cuts
kill the
ice
game.
climbers.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, they're both ice characters too. Um, let's see. Going down the list here, another easier one to imagine: Karibo's shoe. Jump in
Oh,
there, press A, jump up, just like in the game. Hurt opponents on the way back down.
yeah. Instead of a
Uh,
harmless footstool jump, they actually get hurt.
yep. And then let's see, the spinner from Skyward Sword too. That would be a better item to have incorporated than Gus
Twilight
Bellows.
Princess.
Where you, yeah, Twilight Princess. That's right. Oh my god, that I was thinking about how Gus Bellows was sucky and got thrown off. Yes, Twilight Princess. You can jump on it and you can use it like a spinning top and attack opponents from it. It'd be kind of cool and unwieldy. And yeah, and then finally, for my final item, the controversial one that probably wouldn't work and would have to require way too much in terms of reprogramming the game and how certain assets move is max repel.
Ah, I had Super
Yep.
Repel on my list of possibilities, but I wasn't sure how it would work.
Yeah, I'm thinking about just carrying it as a spray and having it automatically on you, kind of like, and then as the spray is radiating from the character, you are unharmed from Pokemon attacks. And if you go too close to a Pokemon, the Pokemon will run away and evade the repel. And
what
I
if it
imagine on
worked?
legendaries it wouldn't. What was that?
What if it worked on but both the Pokemon skills and the moves for any of the Pokeball Pokemon that you can use in the game or the assist trophies?
Ooh, yeah,
It's like an anti-summoner weapon.
yep, yeah, I like that. And shoot, maybe there's some sort of credence to London after all. But anyway, those are my item ideas.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Not a lot of items. I feel like, at this point, especially, it's really hard to come up with new ideas. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I even tried to think of what's something that would be like a Smash Brothers brand item that's completely new. And besides just coming up with what about throwable water balloons, I had nothing.
Nice.
I couldn't think of just like what can the water balloons do besides just like push them away a little bit. Funnily enough, there is a water balloons article on Smashtopia, but I'll be honest, it's not a great idea. It's not.
What about a plastic pickle that sings?
Why not the big mouth bass?
Oof, I had one of those too back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Who didn't? Who
Yep.
didn't?
Oh, I
Um,
loved it.
yeah.
Anyway.
So assist trophies. I mean, we could talk about Pokemon first, but I feel like assist trophies is kind of like the next step here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different options they can do. I love that Ultimate finally gave us a huge number of assist trophies.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it gave us a huge number of assist trophies. Having a small number in Brawl is like okay, a little disappointing, but it's the first time they're throwing this in there. Whatever. Smash 4 still didn't have a lot. It's like, what are you doing? You cut a lot and then add very many more. Ultimate gave us
Mm-hmm.
a shit ton, which thanks.
Awesome. Yep.
So I have a lot of ideas I love. Like you could do any of the four heroes or the champions. I'm sorry, from Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Lionel would make a very terrifying
Oh yeah.
assist trophy. Like on the level of Black Knight, when he gets someone, it's like, oh shit, gonna run. You see Lionel up there, and it's
Yep.
like, that's a no from me. Don't want to be near that.
All of
I'm
the
good.
weapons a Lionel could use too.
Yeah,
A Lionel could be a convincing boss.
it really well. I feel like it'd be a stage boss than
A
like
gold
a
Lionel.
yeah. I feel like
Yep.
it'd probably work better as a stage boss than like a classic mode type of boss, but it's definitely a scary thing to
Yeah.
think about being in the game. Or something like
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate Chimera. I don't know. You
Oh
could
yeah.
do
Yeah.
any of
Get that.
the hunters from Metroid Prime Hunters, Candon, Spire, Weevil, Silex. Any of them could work really well.
Yep.
You mentioned Rambi as an item. To me, the Donkey Kong animal buddies are like prematurely built to be assist trophies. Like they are just obvious choices that are being ignored. Rambi
Mm-hmm.
runs around charging forward, kind of like Go-Goat. You could have Squawks, who flies around, and if you're about to fall to stage to your death, maybe Squawks will save you. Squitter, the
Mm-hmm.
spider, who's constantly jumping around and can shoot webbing out and trap people in place.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we not have an animal buddy? Come on.
I don't know.
A fun little idea I have that I really like this idea is Copper and Booker from Animal Crossing.
Nice.
I don't remember which Animal Crossing game it is. It might have been the original one. They serve as defenders of the lost and found. So what
Yep.
if you have this lost and found that appears with them when they come out of the assist trophy, and it's like this item on a pedestal. It would be like one of the rarer items, like either like a piece of the dragoon, a master ball, a or a maximum tomato, and you can go up there and grab the item from the lost and found. But Copper and Booker know that wasn't your item, and whoever grabs it, the two of them are going to just chase after you and try to attack you. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Me
Uh,
too.
for those of you that have played Box Boy, what about having QB or
Yeah.
however that's pronounced as an assist trophy? He'd be
Mm-hmm.
like he extends out. It's like four squares long, and is a temporary platform. And then he'll disappear and then reappear somewhere else on stage, make a new platform. You have to be careful about how long you stand on him because he could disappear at any moment before he goes make something new.
Yes. I love it.
Fire Emblem has three assist trophies, I believe. Black Knight, Tiki,
Yep.
and Lindis.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more you can do. You don't even have to like pick specific characters. You can just pick archetypes. Let's get a thief character like Jaffer or Soth. Have them
Mm-hmm.
do some acrobatics with their knives, or a dancer like Olivia or Azura. A Pegasus Knight with Sita or Alencia. An archer with Takumi or George. There's so much you
Mm-hmm.
can do. Like, just pick a class and then pick the character.
Yep.
What if we had the actual Team Rocket characters from the Pokemon anime as an assist trophy? So you got James, you got Jesse, you got the Meowth. They say a very short bit. I'll just have them say like Team Rocket's blasting off the speed of light, and then they do because they explode. And if you're in the explosion, rip. I just
Yep.
but and when they explode, you actually see them flying off into the background, and you have that like little star blinker off. Oh
Mm-hmm.
god, it'd be hilarious. What if we had the Privid from
Yep.
Subspace to Mystery as an assist trophy?
Yes, please.
Oh god, it'd be
Oh man.
hilarious. There's
Yep.
several more Mario assist trophies that we could get. Rockhawk would be a really good. He
Mm-hmm.
kind of similar
Oh
to like
yeah.
the Flying Man from
Mm-hmm.
the Magic Hand stage. That's kind of how I envision Rock Hunt. Fairly simple idea. One thing I really love is like the Boo Buddies. Just have that
Mm-hmm.
little ring of boos from Mario World. They just stay in one place. They're just circling around there. You can be in the middle of them and you're safe. But if you want to get out from the middle of them, you got to jump at the right time before you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
Similarly, you can have the Charging Chuck come in and he's just charging down the platforms, which is kind of similar to Rambi. But unlike Rambi or Go-Go, you wouldn't be able to ride on top of the Charging Chuck. And maybe he'll
Mm-hmm.
also throw baseballs.
Nice. Yeah.
The last idea
Absolutely.
that I really want to mention here for assist trophies is from Splatoon, Moz.
Ooh.
Moz is one of the Salmonid bosses from the Salmon Run mode in Splatoon 2. It's not a shark, but it's kind of like the idea of like Jaws, where it's like, okay, clear waters. Oh god,
Oh
something is
yeah.
rising up
Yeah.
from the bottom to come and grab me with its jaws and then pulling back down. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much how Moz works in Salmon Run, which would be a terrifying assist trophies to have to go up against.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I like it. I remember that well now that you
Me
mentioned
too.
it. For me, let's see, the eggplant wizard from Kid Icarus,
Mm.
transforming characters into eggplants that are mostly immobile, other than being able to move around
Yep.
and jump for a little while. That's a good one. Anthony Higgs, of all people, from Metroid, because you already mentioned Silex and the others. Yep. Anthony appears on stage and he's like,
Remember
"Remember me?"
me?
And then he takes out his ice beam and does his thing. That would be entertaining. Um, the Masked Man from Mother 3, flying around and slashing at opponents. Nothing too
Hold on.
fancy.
When you said Masked Man, it got super fucking weird.
Weird.
Yeah. Right. Whenever you're
The
ready.
mask. Okay. The Masked Man from Mother 3, flying around and slashing at opponents. Nothing too fancy. I'm sure if Trevor were here, he could tell me about all of the Masked Man special moves. And just imagine that I had that knowledge and just apply that to the assist trophy. Uh, Doc Lewis, the idea that I had for him was kind of fun. He could appear from the foreground in front of the stage, almost like from the player's perspective, looking towards the stage, and be not too much of a distraction, not obscuring too much of the stage, but just enough for you to see him and him cheering you on, throwing various catchphrases out there, throwing a fist up, and then occasionally he'll take like a food item or a healing item in general and throw it towards the opponent, towards the player that summoned him.
Ooh, I like that. I
And
like that a lot.
and he'd be like, "There you go, baby," and then you'd go and get a heart container, heal yourself. So like a a real wingman, like just like he is. Kamek, of course, would be a good one that you could draw a lot of magic spells from, flying around on his broomstick. Although we'd both rather have him playable, what can you do?
Yeah.
Here's a controversial one. Heihachi.
Oh.
If you can't figure out how to include him because of that 3D fighter playstyle, I'm sure that there'll be a way to include him as an assist trophy, like you did with Akira.
Absolutely.
So there's that. Chibi Robo, which I did not really think out properly. Whoops, but I just figured that Chibi Robo is a name to mention.
Ziplash. He's Ziplash.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's the full extent of that game's use, I guess.
I mean, when
That and a cheap
realistically,
assist
when I
trophy.
think of how a cheap herbal could work as an assist, it's him swinging his plug tail and just like throwing it forward in different directions, and any part of it would hurt, but it hurts most on the plug, and it's also got an electrical effect.
Yeah, that would work. That would work just fine. Um, from Fire Emblem, you mentioned different archetypes. I'm mentioning a specific character, Sothis.
Ah, yes.
And yes, and the Divine Pulse. I'm not crystal on how this would work in Smash, but in Three Houses, you can use Divine Pulse to undo a certain amount of actions per match.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use Divine Pulse to, if she's active on the field and you get knocked out, she can reverse your KO and keep your stock in place. Something like that, a rare assist trophy that could really turn the tide of battle and be a little bit cheap.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yep. The stretchers from the acclaimed Nintendo game that no one knows about. The stretchers.
Oh God.
Yep, and they from an eShop title, and I imagine that it would kind of like Game and Watch's Flat Zone with stretchers, or and his stage and his up special. I mean, or they hold a stretcher out and they run around, and if you jump on it, you get a boost, and that's it. They're just helpful and probably would be for everyone. Uh, so there's that. Susano from Okami could be a fun Okami assist trophy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have him on Smashtopia Wiki. Know that he was on Mercurius a long time ago, but Susano's kind of an oaf, and Amaterasu really helps him throughout the game find his courage and find his ability. But I'm thinking like early stage Susano, where he's still drunk off of himself without having anything to back it up and is still kind of a coward. So he's approaching opponents, kind of slashing at them in a way Lin would, but more rapid fire, because you would see some of his swings would hit, and those would be ones that have been assisted by the Celestial Brush, and you would see the brush effect over opponents, and then he might just outright whiff and hit himself on the head or not hit anyone at all when he opponent. And when that
Nice.
happens, you would like shake a little bit. Yeah. Um, Bub and Bob from Bubble Bobble.
Oh
They
wow.
function just like they would in the game. They go in, they spit bubbles at opponents. The opponents go flying up in a bubble. The bubble pops and they get damage. Cuphead, another lot of different ammo to use with that character and have them be ripped straight from the game, look like that iconic art style, shoot at opponents. There you go. Maybe appear in an airplane or something at some point with whatever the heck player two's name is. I forget.
Mugman.
Yeah, there you go.
Mugman. I'm sorry, Mugman.
Mugman. Good old Mugman.
And then there's also Miss Chalice.
Yeah. So yeah, there's my rapid fire ATs.
I do want to add a few more ATs that I forgot that I meant to mention because I had kind of scrolled past them.
I have one too after you do.
Okay. Every third party character, besides Cloud in Final Fantasy, that has had a character in the base roster of a Smash title has had an assist trophy along with it. Anything that's come in as DLC didn't get an assist trophy added with them as DLC, but like when Ryu was base for Smash Ultimate, we got Guile as an assist. So I wanted to go ahead and just like list out a few for the third party characters that don't have an assist yet. So Cloud with Final Fantasy VII brings in Barrett Wallace, who shoots around a little bit with his Gatling gun arm. Joker
Nice.
from Persona 5 brings La Morgana, who charges into people from various angles and with recklessness in their bus form.
Looking good, Lister.
Sure. That's a lie, but sure. Hero from Dragon Quest was a little bit hard to come up with an assist for because what did I say? No, no. I was trying to think. I was trying to think of something like, but anything I was thinking was either like the Dragon Lord from the first game or one party member from one of the other games, which like that didn't feel right because the hero is meant to be any of the heroes. So instead, I just said screw it and went with slime.
There you go.
It does slime things. It just jumps around or rockets itself around like in Rocket Slime.
Nice. Okay,
From Banjo Kazooie, Gruntilda.
Mm-hmm.
She flies around on her broom, casts some spells. Uh, I'm not really familiar with Fatal Fury King of Fighters, so it's hard to come
Mm-hmm.
up with one. I thought maybe just say Mai Shiranui because she's the only one that's not in the stage for Ultimate. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Sakura was still that same kind of trouble he had with her with the censorship board. So I figured, you know what, let's just do Geese Howard. Kind of fits there.
Yeah, that works.
And then as a bonus, I mean, I mentioned it as a stage, but it could also just work as its own assist trophy. Tetris pieces just falling down. Why
Yeah,
not?
that's true. I mean, the Tetrimino could also be a playable character.
Mm, mm, agree to disagree. You
Yep.
said you had one last assist trophy to mention as well.
Yeah. Uh, so another third-party assist trophy idea. Biomiracle Bokuto Upa. So Upa walks around and hits opponents with his rattle, and they inflate and go up towards the air. It would be very functional, like Bub and Bob. And it just depends on which character you would rather have, Bub and Bob or Biomiracle Bokute Upa.
So sometimes I
It might
think
mention that Upa is on the Smashtopia wiki
so,
in that.
sometimes I think that you intentionally Google the weirdest shit just to screw with
Oh
me.
no. Oh no, I've played that game and I enjoyed that
Why?
all the way through. I bought it on the Virtual Console. It was like one of the first import games.
I feel. What is
Yeah,
wrong with you?
it's a good game. It's a
Mm,
good game.
mm.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yep.
Somebody at some point thought that ET for the Atari was going to be a good game.
But Miracle Book is Yupo.
Nah. But
It's a 7 and 10 at the very least.
that's the assist trophies we've had. There's really only one other kind of item to go through, and I don't have very many of these right now either. I mean, I have a few, but these are a lot easier to just kind of like go through. The Pokemon. They were in the original Smash game. They've been adding more to them ever since. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Gengar, he can just do our Shadow Punch move that we came up with when he hit Smashtopia.
Mm-hmm.
We could get Magikarp and finally replace Goldeen with Magikarp. Why the fuck has that not happened?
I
Seriously.
don't know.
Why
Mm-hmm.
don't we just have Metapod, who's a glorified item because Metapod does nothing. You can pick him up and you can throw him. That's
Nice.
that's Metapod.
Mm-hmm.
Pidgeotto could use Gust on the whole stage. It is kind of like the strong wind effect that you can encounter in World of Light spirit battles.
Nice.
Fortress could shoot spikes out, and then people who run over them are going to be damaged and trip. You could have Chandelure. I'm not sure what the move would be. Maybe you could call it Fire Spinner, Inferno, or something. Overheat. It is kind of like just swinging from an invisible chain back and forth, like a chandelier, and anybody that's hit by it is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Blacephalon, one of the Ultra Beasts from Gen 6, 7. Fuck, from Gen 7. Uh, Blacephalon has a unique move called Mind Blown, where the animation has it take its own head off and throw it, and the head is a bomb. I want it.
Yep.
I want it.
Let's do it.
You have Zeraora, one of the last mythical Pokemon for Generation 7. Use Plasma Fist. It just runs around and just punches with lightning. That's cool.
Yep. Checks out.
Galarian Stunfisk. It
Mm-hmm.
just sits there. It looks like a bear trap. I think you know what's going to happen if you run over it. It's
I
going to be
think
a
so.
bad day for your legs.
Yep.
Inteleon. I like the idea of it using Snipe Shot, its signature move, just pointing in various directions and it's shooting out a very quick, high pressure blast of water. Thin blast because it's just coming from its finger. But
Mm-hmm.
I really looking at that, and it made more sense to me as a Pokemon move than Rillaboom's Drum Beating or Cinderace's
Mm-hmm.
Pyro Shot.
Yeah.
You could have Toxtricity use its move that I'm forgetting the name of, but its signature move is basically just like it strums the little pink areas on its chest to create an
Mm-hmm.
electrical guitar effect. And I think that
Nice.
would be pretty interesting. Surfetched, I don't really have a specific move in mind. It could be like Leaf Blade, it could be Brutal Swing, it could be really any like the sword like moves. He's just running around with a sword slashing at you. That's it. That's
Nice.
Surfetched.
Nice.
The Dragapult. We need Dragon Ball as Pokemon in Smash. We need him. I kind of imagine him. He could be coming in from the side, I guess, or from the background. And he's got a bunch of Dreepies loaded up in his cannons, and he's just firing Dreepies at the stage. It's his signature move, Dragon Darts.
Yes.
But then there's the big one, Eternatus. Pokemon number 400 in the regional decks for the Galar region. Eternatus would be in the background. A targeting reticle appears on the screen, kind of like the reticle for the Halberd stage. And when it locks in on something, it starts to glow, and you see a pulsing beam of energy start to come out of Eternatus as he uses Dynamax Cannon at that point on the stage. Ooh. And it's a massively powerful attack, and you do not want to get hit.
My God. Yep. Yes.
Those are some good ideas, and I want them.
Yep. Let's do it. Let's have them in. Just go right, Sakurai. Let's do it.
Okay.
For Pokemon, good thing that you really rolled in with some great ideas. I only have two, but I think they're solid. Number one is an old favorite of yours, I remember. Quagsire.
Someday I need to teach you the definition of favorite.
Yep. Using its move, Muddy Water, Quagsire will jump up and down in a muddy puddle and splash opponents nearby with mud.
Would that be Muddy Water, or would it be like I'm not sure this is a real attack. Maybe like Mud Wave or Mud Shot.
I suppose either or. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter either way. But it's, for some reason that popped into my head.
Mud Shot could work too, I think. Functionally similar. Yeah. Also, Surfetched, but another idea.
Ooh.
Who cares if it's not outside of canon? Put Surfetched on Mudsdale. And just have them joust and run after opponents and stab them.
I know where that idea came from.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm not opposed to it either. I would love that. That's amazing.
Yep. And let's make it happen. And those are my two ideas.
All right. Well, that covers in all
that and Delibird giving you food.
I mean, honestly, Delibird throwing presents around that are either explosions or bursts of healing energy is an idea I would love.
Yep.
I would be so for that.
Yep.
But that wraps up all of our character stages and items that we kind of feel like could or should be in Smash. And we've kind of, at this point, we kind of need to move on to another big ticket item, which is game modes. You can't. Smash is more than just 4-player battle royales. There's classic mode, various different kinds of adventure modes, All-Star, 100-man Smash, home run contest, all this good stuff. What's coming back for this Smash game? What's being left behind? Are we going to see a good version of Stage Builder for once? to be fair, each time we've gotten Stage Builder, there's been something about it that's been like, cool, that's a really good idea. And then the next game was just like, but let's do it different and make it work. It's like, why though? Why though?
Yep.
That having the different layers and being able to move items around is awesome in Ultimate Stage Builder.
Yeah.
But it still has some limitations. It's like, why? But I feel like Stage Builder is definitely something that will come back in the next Smash. It was surprising that it didn't make the base roster when Ultimate launched, and it had to come in as DLC later on. That was really strange.
Yeah.
Same thing with home run contests. Such a minor mode that has never seen any significant change to it, and it just wasn't there in the beginning. Like what? What? Weird.
Yep.
But I feel like that mode will be another one that gets returned, because at this point it's like Sakurai saw, okay, I removed this and they really wanted it back. It's a simple mode to include, unlike Target Test, which is a lot more difficult to go through. But I'm trying to think here how we want to look at this. Would you agree that you think Smash Run and Smash Two are dead?
Yeah, I would be happy with Smash Run's return, but since Spot Pass is no longer a thing either, it kind of lost reason.
Yeah, I mean you could do local co-op or online co-op
Oh
with it,
yeah.
but it I don't know. I feel like that's just one that's not going to happen.
Hmm.
We've seen a couple different kinds of adventure mode in Smash. There was the melee style where you kind of ran through a platform segment based on different games. There was like a puzzling mechanic with the Zelda one and escaping Brinstar and a little Metroid sim, which was really cool. But then Brawl gave us
Hmm.
a story mode with Subspace Emissary. Smash 4 gave us nothing. But there were other modes like Master and Crazy Orders that we could play through. But then Ultimate's got World of Light. What
Hmm.
the fuck is next for adventure mode? Or story mode, whatever they call it. What can they
I
do
have
from
no
here?
clue.
I mean, the best I've
No.
been able to come up with, and granted, I've done like zero hardcore thinking on this, but what if we had like an RPG type of mode?
Oh,
I
nice.
don't know how it would work in the context of Smash without it being like completely unrelated and something completely different that where you might as well just make it its own game, Smash RPG.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I mean, we've Subway Simster was platforming based. Uh, World of Light is kind of like a glorified event match mode. Which,
Hmm.
speaking of, assuming we don't get like a World of Light 2, I think event matches will return because those are pretty easy.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
beyond those, I don't know what something new you could do for an adventure mode. I mean, you could do just World of Light 2 or Subspace Emissary 2, but I don't think we would get that. But
Agreed.
it's like the best I could think of was just like, what if there's like some kind of RPG of some form? I'm not really sure what its form would be. I'm sure if I sat down to try and like plot things out, I could come up with something relatively
Hmm.
decent. But
Hmm.
all I can really say on it is if it were to be a thing, can we not start with Kirby this time? Like nothing against
Yep.
Kirby, but Subspace Emissary, you start out with Mario or Kirby in that very first match, and then you transition to Pit, and then World of Light, it's Kirby, which I understand Sakurai's decision there because he wanted to be a character that could conceivably avoid the beams from Galeem,
Hmm.
but also would be a character that's uh, not going to be a hard one for people to use that are going to be good with a lot of characters. Like Kirby's a relatively simple character to figure out how to use. Wherein he mentioned that the other two characters that he thought could have avoided the beams instead of Kirby would have been Palutena or Bayonetta. But neither of those
Hmm.
are really easy characters for somebody new to pick up and play.
Yeah.
Kirby, Mario, those are easy characters to pick up and play. If I had to pick somebody
Yep.
that I would want to start out with in Smash RPG, I'm picking Link. I think Link would be a really
Yeah.
solid choice for that because he's
Yeah.
another character that
Agreed.
you can just pick up and easily use. He's simple, he's highly recognizable, no real issues there.
Having that sort of having this like miniature 3D landscape to operate around in an RPG overworld too would be something.
It really would.
Yep.
But that's
Um.
it's really a hard mode to just come up with anything for.
Yep. Yep. It is. That's an episode in itself.
Oh yeah, and maybe one
Yep.
day, maybe, but it's not on the
Maybe
calendar
one
right
day.
now.
Nope. Not right now.
No. But you know what's a lot easier to think up things for?
Classic mode.
Classic mode. Classic
Yep.
mode hasn't really been classic in a while, funnily enough.
Nope. Nope.
In the original Smash, there was a predefined list of rounds, and every time you played it with any character, it was always going to be the exact same. You always have the
Hmm.
same fights in the same order. You would always have a giant DK fight, and then you would end on Master Hand. There would always
Hmm.
be a Metal Mario at some point, but and then Melee. I'm not remembering too hard about what Melee was. It wasn't the same every time. It could be it differentiated. I think it was more like certain rounds would always have like a certain theme to them, and it'll just change who the
Hmm.
characters are. And then Brawl was, hey, round one is always going to be these franchises. Round two, these franchises, and then sometimes it'd be
Hmm.
like, oh, giant battle or team battle. Smash Four
Hmm.
got weird.
Yep.
Smash 4 got a little weird because it was more like a choose your own adventure type of thing. Because for Smash 3DS, you would be presented at various points like, okay, do you want to take the easy path, the medium path, or the hard path? It's like, well, I'm going to take the easy path because I just want to get my trophies.
Yep.
And then Smash for Wii U, it's like, okay, here's a bunch of groupings of characters so you can see who you'd be fighting and you can see what stage you're on. And if it's like in the second half of it, you'd be like, okay, and now you're getting characters who have custom moves. And you could even recruit
Mm-hmm.
some fighters that you had defeated to fight with you in team battles. Interesting, but it wasn't really a classic mode. It,
Mm-hmm.
it was just, it didn't feel quite right. Ultimate, as much as I love how Ultimate did it, where every character has their own unique path. So like Mario is always going
Mm-hmm.
to fight the same characters anytime you use Mario, but it's going to be different from whenever you play as Bayonetta. I love that idea, but again, that's actually really not classic mode. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wish that each character actually had a boss for the boss fight, and not just like, oh hey, as much as a cool reference it is for Mega Man to fight Dr. Mario then Mewtwo for his boss fight, that's not a boss.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. Stop it. And then some characters
Mm-hmm.
fought the boss in the penultimate fight, and then they had their fight with some other character after that. It's like, no, no,
Yep.
no, no, no.
Yep.
It took me a while to try and come up with something, and what I did come up with was actually something that I had initially written before Ultimate released. We knew that back when I wrote this, we knew that classic mode was going to have like its own distinct path for everyone, but we didn't know the thing about there being different bosses
Mm-hmm.
from Masquerade Crazy, which I love. I still love that idea a lot. But the
Mm-hmm.
classic mode I came up with has 13 rounds. Not all of these are battle rounds. They kind of vary. And the way I have this set up is whatever character you pick, every round after that is going to be random characters, with some exceptions as we go. But you will never fight against yourself. That's something that just
Okay.
won't happen. Rounds 1 and 2, they're just normal 1v1 battles, nothing real special. Round 3 is a 2v2 team battle. Round 4, I had the first bonus round and the return of target test. Break the targets.
Nice.
And the way I have it set up is that instead of having like just 5 difficulties, like in Brawl, or every character having their own version of target test, I decided to kind of like break it up into groups. So all the Mario characters share a target test together. All the Zelda characters share a target test. All the retro characters like Rob, Game and Watch, Ice Climber, Duck Hunt, they all share a
Mm-hmm.
target test. And then there would be some other odd groupings, or you could even, if you didn't want to do them by franchise, even you could just do like all the sword fighters kind of share this one. The heavy brawlers, day to day K Rool and Browser, they share one. You could have all the third
Yeah.
parties share one. There's just these different possibilities, but it's a way to have more unique target tests, but not have to do one for every 90 characters or 40 or whatever
Oh
it
yeah.
is. Because,
Mm-hmm.
as much as I don't like how Brawl did it, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. Round 5 is
Mm-hmm.
getting back to a battle where it's you and 2 allies versus one giant battle, or one giant character.
Nice.
Round 6 has you fighting 10 different versions of the same character in a multi battle, like 10 Yoshis, or 10 Marios, or 10 Bio Miracle, whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Round 7 is actually an interesting one that I really like. It's a 1v1 stamina battle.
Who, buddy?
I would have never included that one if it wasn't for the fact that there were several characters whose classic modes in Ultimate are just purely stamina battles.
Oh
Mainly,
yeah.
it's the fighting game characters Ryu, Ken, Terry, but it's still a really cool idea. I love that they did that.
Me too.
Round 8's got a
That's a good
second
one.
bonus. Yeah. Round 8 is our second bonus round. It's race to the finish. I decided to bring that one back as well. This time around, though, I decided to have it to where it is kind of like how Brawl did target tests, that there's different difficulties of the race, that's just a different layout, different path you have to go down. Maybe there's some enemies scattered in that you duck and dodge. And if they bring back trophies or whatever, because at the time that I wrote this, we didn't know trophies were gone and replaced with spirits. But there's some kind of collectible. There can be collectibles in the maze that you have to race through that you could, take a moment to stop and collect if you've got the time to spare.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Round 9, I had a 1v1, v1, blah, 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 8-player Smash.
Ooh.
That would be
Yeah,
one of the most difficult rounds because, like, how do you survive this chaos?
yeah, especially with the double cherry in play.
Oh, God.
And
Round
Ditto.
round 10 is a 1v1 metal battle, so it could be Metal Donkey Kong, Metal Joker, Metal Jigglypuff, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Round 11 is you versus the Fighting Me team, or whatever our replacement for that is, if we get a replacement. The
Mm-hmm.
polygon, it's like the alloy fighters or the wireframes. It's just you versus 30 of them. Pretty simple stuff. Round 12 is where I came up with my own unique thing. Kind of.
Ooh.
A lot of other fighting games, I know Street Fighter 4 does this, and PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale does it as well. They have a rival battle which takes place just at the end of the classic mode journey.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's just a special, unique battle. There might be a little bit of cutscene, and you go into the fight. And whoever your character's rival is, they also would not have appeared at any of the other battles until the rival fight.
Oh, nice.
But just because one character has a rival doesn't mean they're mutually rivals of each other. Like Sonic's rival battle could be against Mario, but maybe Mario's rival is Donkey Kong. Maybe Donkey
Mm-hmm.
Kong's rival is King K. Rool. And similarly, two characters could have the same rival. So Diddy Kong could also have King K. Rool as his rival.
Yeah.
Who knows? There'd be just a lot of you don't some characters by that reason would never be somebody's rival. Like
Mm-hmm.
whose rival is Mr. Game Watch gonna be? I don't know. Maybe Rob, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
some is just more difficult to come up with something for. And then round 13, the end of it all, the boss battle. And the way I kind of like the thing I did on this is that depending on the difficulty that you're playing on, uh,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a low difficulty, you are only fighting Master Hand, just Master Hand. But on higher
Right.
difficulties, it will either be Master Hand and Crazy Hand, or it could be kind of like how Ultimate did new bosses. Like you could be fighting Ganon, or you could be fighting Kraid as a new kind of boss. It's just, but
Yep.
like on lower difficulties, because you weren't doing so hot, just Master Hand. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be a nice easy one for you. But
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're doing better, you get a more unique and a more difficult boss.
Absolutely. Dr. Kawashima as a boss.
I mean, hey, for people who don't like math, that's very true.
That would be me then.
Pause there as well.
Yeah.
I need to use the bathroom again.
Okay.
Been a bad night, I guess. Oh, it's one of those nights.
Oh, sweet Nelly.
Huh. Okay. Before I still have the timer paused. Before it jumps to All Star mode, do you have much to say on the classic mode stuff?
No, I was just gonna say, oh, yes, I like the classic mode. Good job.
Okay. In that case, when you are ready.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing that you came up with a classic mode because I kind of sort of just didn't. I dropped the ball there, but it was good to revisit that. One thing that I would like to add that just came to mind is you mentioned rival battles, and I agree that that's a great idea. Um, you know how in Street Fighter games you hit certain interludes and they would have you beat up a car until it's completely without function?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so how about you beat up like a statue version of your rival as well in a miniature arcade mode? I don't know where you'd put it in, but I thought it was a fun idea.
I mean,
Works in a very similar fashion to rack up points.
having a little bonus mode in there that pays homage to destroying the car in Street Fighter 2, especially with
Hmm.
Ryu and Ken and Smash, I actually really like that idea.
Yep.
Where it would be fitted in, who knows? Maybe it's something that
Hmm.
like appears in uh, when the credits are on screen or something, and you're shooting the
Yeah.
credits
There
that
we
we've
go.
seen in several Smash games now. But maybe that could somewhere fit in there. I don't know, but it's definitely a cool idea, and I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I guess the woolly mammoth in the room that remains all-star mode, and that's again something that I will just kind of let you take the floor for if you have any ideas.
I do. It took a while to come up with something for because All Star mode has. It's also been different every time, but it's also with each iteration of Smash harder and harder to come up with something new for it. It started
Yeah.
off in Melee where the characters were in a random order mostly, but like for the first several rounds, you would just be like a 1v1 fight. Then you have a few rounds with you against two opponents, a few rounds with you against three, and then it always ended with a multi battle against 25 Game and Watches. It's just
Hmm.
kill the 25 Game Watches and you win, and they were always pretty easy to kill. Brawl
Yep.
organized them by franchise, and you had to fight them in order of the franchise's release. So like you would take care of all the Mario characters in one, all the Zelda characters in one, the Fire Emblems, the Earthbounds, and on and on. Smash Four
Yeah.
was pretty similar to that, except it organized it all the characters based on what year those characters first appeared in. So you would
Yep.
start. So depending on whether or not you were playing 3DS or on Wii U, the order would change. So like on 3DS, you'd start with fighting against all the characters that released between 1980 and 1984. So like Game and Watch, Pac-Man, Mario, Donkey Kong, Luigi, Little Mac, and Duck Hunt. But if it was Wii U, they went backwards. So you started off fighting against characters that were released in 2007 to 2015. So Rosalina, Wii Fit Trainer, Bayonetta, Shulk, Dark Pit, Lucina, Robin, Greninja, the three Mii fighters, Inkling, and Corn. That's a lot of characters to
Hmm.
fight in one round.
Hmm. Yep.
What I came up with was something kind of similar to both of those previous two from Brawl and Smash 4, except instead of taking it from when a franchise first released or when a character first released, I took it from when their console of origin first released.
Ah,
So you would
interesting.
start off fighting against all the characters that who had their first appearance on in the arcades. So Pac-Man, Mario, Donkey Kong, Luigi, Little Mac, Ryu, Ken, and Terry. And then you go to the Game and Watch, the NES, the TurboGrafx 16, because that's where Richter apparently first appeared. Go figure.
Nice.
Sega Genesis was Sonic, then the Game Boy, the Super Nintendo, PlayStation, N64, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Nintendo DS, PS3 for Bayonetta and Joker, the
Hmm.
Wii, the 3DS, and the Wii U for ending off
Yeah.
with Inkling. So some of those, the NES round has actually 19 characters that originated on the NES. So that one has to be
Sweet
like
lady
chopped
baby.
up into because that's just pure insanity. Where it gets
Hmm.
weird is that you fight Meta Knight in the NES round, but Kirby and King Dedede in the Super Nintendo round. Because the Kirby franchise had its first game on the Super Nintendo, But the first game Meta Knight was in, a Kirby game, was on the NES.
Oh
That's
yeah.
weird. It's so
Yep.
strange. But I mean, it's the idea I have there. I think it could easily work. I think you'd have to like shop it up a little bit. The NES run has to be split into at least two because that's just stupid. And then any of the
Mm-hmm.
ones that are like from one-off consoles or all the non-Nintendo consoles, maybe you merge them to like one around at the end. I don't know, but because like
Mm-hmm.
having so many where it's just like one character or two characters, it's like that's a little weird. Like you could
Yeah.
move Richter from TurboGrafx 16, Sonic with Sega Genesis, Cloud with PlayStation, uh, and then Bayonetta and Joker from the PS3. You can move them all into their own round where you fight all five of them. I think that'd be fun.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it was difficult to come up with something for All Star Mode, and I was pleased with what I came up with, but it still was not easy.
No, absolutely not. Well, I commend your efforts. They have paid off.
Well, you know.
Um, one thing that I thought of that I'm not sure if it will be for classic mode or
Mm-hmm.
just its own thing.
What's that?
You mentioned an RPG, and I was thinking of other like trendy game types. Nowadays, card games are kind of on the rise. You have Gwent, you have Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of seeing a resurgent in the video game sector,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Hearthstone, etc. Um, how about a Smash Brothers card game mode?
You know,
Where, yep.
I have tried to come up with ideas on how a Smash Bros. Card game would work.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really stumbled on the solution yet, but
Mm-hmm.
can I just say yes? And that's actually, now that you mentioned that, here's the thought for you. We had trophies from Melee, Brawl, and Smash 4. They were dropped from Ultimate because it was just too much, which,
Mm-hmm.
fair.
Yep.
Absolutely fair. Because for a lot of them, they were just making new models, which that just takes too
Yeah.
much time. But we got
Yeah.
spirits for Ultimate and Sig, and those played into World of Light, the Spirit Board, and such. The card game, either as like its own card game mode, or maybe it's has part of the RPG in it or something. I don't know. Maybe that would
Mm-hmm.
be our new collectible instead of trophies or spirits. It's cards with the
Yeah.
characters. And this
Yes.
time around, they could have little blurbs on of them again, like how we had with trophies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how the logistics of it would be with making a card game and then having like potentially 1,000 plus cards, but
Mm-hmm.
sign me up.
Here is something too. That could be the next step alongside Amiibo to bring into the physical realm
Mm-hmm.
in sales. Make those cards reality. Sell them in decks and starter and booster packs. There you go.
Like the
That
Pokemon TCG.
exactly. That would destroy the market. People would buy the crap out of those.
That
And
would get me back into card games.
it would. Same here. Because card games can get overly complicated. Like having a Pokemon happen to Yu-Gi-Oh, oh good dear lord. Um so and 1,000 plus cards, that would be inherently complicated, but because it's Smash, I would get back into it.
Oh yeah, I mean I used to have over several hundred Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I still have them
Same here.
somewhere. They're just collecting
Yeah,
dust in a box.
same
But
here.
that was a lot of years. That was a lot of money. I never went to
Hmm.
any tournaments. I just like to play casually with friends, and I would always break the deck limit rule because like, oh, it says I can only have 60 cards, but I want 100. Fuck off.
Nice. Oh man, I did go to Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments as a kid. Those were fun. Um, Anywho, though, one final thought that I had,
Uh huh.
just in general. I would imagine we're nearing the end of our circuit here, but
I
we
think so.
both probably have a few more ideas to toss. Um, Extra skills from Smashtopia, where you just press a certain button input and you're able to engage in new an additional move to your set. I think that that's a very realistic uh, place for the Smash Brothers moveset to evolve
Hell yeah.
without doing too much.
And
And that could be something we see in the next game.
on top of that, not only do we have the Inkling who essentially has a unique move with refilling its ink tank by holding down B and shield. Terry
Mm-hmm.
has a back special. The very first
Yep.
back special in all of Smash Brothers. Just hold the
Mm-hmm.
opposite direction of what he's facing and press the B button, and it works. And he's got a whole new attack. I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit! God damn it!
Yep.
We have two new ways
Yep.
to attack now, for each of them, only one character uses each. Let's
Yep.
expand on that, please.
Let's do that. Absolutely.
I'm not adding back specials
Um,
to Smashtopia. No.
neither am I.
I'm keeping the
Neither am
empty
I.
skill, but I'm not adding back specials. Too much.
Maybe for a character that warrants it. One,
Maybe.
but
That's
not all
fair.
of them.
That's fair.
Um, otherwise, various ideas that I just came up with that I'm seriously just going to blurt out and not add anything else to.
Sure.
Boss ideas.
Yes,
The
I
big
have some.
ogre from Tekken. Yami Orochi from Okami. Eggman. Dr. Wily. Necrozma. DJ Octavio. Metal Gear Rex. Hades. A Porky return where you like fight Porky in his character form, and then Porky emerges back in his like brawl boss form, and you fight that. And the only other thing I have written down here on this mishmashed list is, hey, try Bowser should be an alternate costume. The end.
Yes. Yes, it should. Can we? That's another thing. Like, can we please get other alternate costumes that are just like a little bit more than a palette swap? Like they did
But
great with
also
some.
not Alf.
Yeah, yeah. Not another character, but like a good skin.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like oh god, I wish I had prepared a list of those because there's so many good ones that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, maybe have Donkey Kong wear DK Jr.'s shirt.
Yep.
There's something.
Yep.
And like on the nature of some bosses, just to throw a few more out there, the Guard Scorpion from Final Fantasy VII, Mortis
Mm-hmm.
from Fire Emblem Sacred Stones,
Oh
Twin
yeah.
Bellows from Kid Icarus
Yep.
Uprising, Majora
Good.
from Majora's Mask,
Ooh,
Kraid
baby.
from Metroid, the Titan Weevil from Pikmin 2, Ultra
Mm-hmm.
Necrozma.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Sweet Nelson.
It's been a long one.
Has
Our
it
longest
ever?
podcast to date, and it might be our longest ever. Possibly.
Yep. Yep.
You never know what the future may hold, but we all knew going into this topic that this was not going to be a normal episode length. I
No.
don't blame
No.
anybody that had to watch it in chunks. I get it.
Yep. Yep.
Trust me, I get it. But I think we've
Mm-hmm.
come to the point now where the episode has come too close. I really don't have anything more to say on what I think could be going on in the next game or even the near future of Smash. That said, if anybody has any questions about our thoughts on anything, please do send them to us. Either like comment on the YouTube video or on jfrom.com's website or just in our Discord channel, which there's a link to.
Mm-hmm.
Feel,
Discord,
feel free,
Facebook.
please send us questions. Several weeks
Yeah.
ago, we had one of our users in the Discord channel ask us a few questions about speculation, and I loved engaging with that. It was a lot of fun to actually have somebody like directly asking us, and I could give my views on it. So if you've got any
Yeah.
of those, please, we would love to hear it. But
Absolutely.
I think that's it for today.
That is it for today. But as always, we're going to shout at you again soon with a Smashtopia, as it were, our first of the year.
Oh yeah, and it's a character
Oh yeah.
that we might have mentioned today. Just maybe.
Yep. It sure is. Just maybe. It may be Rex, I'm thinking.
It may be Pyra, I'm thinking.
Huh.
Or actually,
Well,
you
I
know
guess
what?
we'll have to see.
Why don't we just make it both Rex and Pyra? Make it sound
Okay, that works. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right. Well, until next time, I am Jonathan, otherwise known as Jonno.
And I am Zantok, otherwise known as.
Yeah, full disclosure here, it's like 3 a.m. where he is right now as we record this.
It is.
And I'm feeling tired too. So this has been fun, but I'm going to go to bed immediately after this. So sweet dreams to you all. Have a good one.
See ya.